Yo, what's going on, fellas? Man, shout out to the winning shot. Thank you for everybody who tuned in to last week's episode, man. We're getting ready to get into some exciting talks this week about college football, NFL, your one-stop shop for sports, man. How your boys feeling?
Man, I tell you what, that week one college football playoffs. Wait, first of all, it was a packed week in just sports in general. We had college football playoffs. We had NCAA women. We had a big match at USC UConn. We had some big NFL matchups this weekend as well. Boy, we had a lot to talk about today. A lot of recapping to do.
For
Can't
sure.
wait.
How you feeling, Hundo?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Excited to get to talking about these games, man. Like John said, we had some good games across several different sports. So I'm ready, man. Let's get it.
For sure, man. We're gonna start with the first game. So on the bracket, we had Clemson going up against Texas. Number 12, Clemson came out fighting. I ain't gonna lie. They came out, they scored initially, and I thought it was gonna be a close game, but then it kind of took off later on, and Texas kind of showed who they were. The final score was 38-24. This ends Clemson season, and Texas is getting ready to go on to play Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. How your boys felt about this game? Was it what y'all expected? What are some takeaways y'all got from it?
Man, me personally, bro, y'all know y'all watched last week's Powerful. You did, man. Y'all know I picked Clemson. And like Collin said, man, they definitely surprised me. Honestly, bro, they played a lot better than I thought they were going to play, to keep it a whole being issue. If the Russian defense was good, honestly, Clemson might have won that game. Keep it a stack. Because they cut it to one score a couple of different times on several occasions, and then they gave a big run every time. Every time they cut it to one, they gave a giant run. If the run defense was good, they got some stops. They was scoring on offense. They were scoring on offense, like Collin said, man. So, shoot, it was tough to watch. It really was. I was so upset, especially when they kept cutting it to one. I was like, okay. Yeah, but, ultimately fell short. So, next season.
Yeah. Hundo, how you feel?
Like John said, I honestly didn't think that the defense would look how they look, especially against the run for Clemson. I didn't think that Cade was going to play that good. He actually played pretty good. He had a pretty decent game, pretty good game. But yeah, I mean, I thought Texas was going to win. When Clemson went down and was about to score, and Texas got that stop late in the game, that could have made it a one score game late. So that would have been big if Clemson was able to punch it in. They were unable to punch it in, and Texas got the W. So, I'm looking forward to see how Texas looks against Arizona State. But yeah, good season by Clemson. They made it to the college football playoffs. A lot of people didn't expect them to make it that far. So I think overall it was a pretty good season for Clemson.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm in agreement, man. And that TJ Moore on the outside, like he's gonna be a star for sure.
Yeah,
like, definitely is. And I think he kind of saved Cade's career because the way Cade was looking initially, it was kind of shaky whether he was going to be back at Clemson. But I think, man, like I said, Texas is just a different breed, and I think ultimately it just came down to depth. Like Texas was losing people, but still able to put out 5 and 4 stars and still continue to, keep that cadence. It's gonna be interesting though because like I'm not really a big fan of Quinn. Like it seems like Quinn always plays down to the level of competition, and I feel like if they had a decent quarterback, they would have blown out Clemson, in my opinion. But it just seems like on the offensive end, Texas is always shaky. So yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man. They put up 38 points. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty high scoring. I think
Collins. Go ahead, my bad.
I think defensively they could have bitten down a little bit better and gotten a few stops, slow down more on the outside. He was really only going to one person.
Yeah.
So I mean, look at the defense. I don't really think it was too much on Quinn.
Yeah.
I think to Collins' point though, the points that were scored, the 30 out of them 38s, they need to clap for that running back because he scored a lot of them points. And he ran that ball a lot on their defense. I don't know if it had to rely solely on Quinn and his arm, would have had the same result. Me personally, again, because like I said, when it came down to it, Clemson's defense was doing decent against the pass, but against that run, I don't know what they had going on Saturday. They just seemed like they couldn't get no stops. I guess they were fatigued. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't pinpoint too much of what was happening, but it is what it is at this point. But the next matchup, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it against them in Arizona State. That's going to be really interesting. It's really interesting.
Sure. So before we move on, so everybody was giving Garrett Riley a lot of flack for that goal line call to K. Klubnik, said he should have opened up the offense. How do y'all feel about that?
It was a terrible call. What in the world are we doing? It's 4th and 1 on the 1, and that's the play call? I think we had already ran like a quarterback run, something very similar, like a couple plays before that. So it's like, but that to be the call with pretty much the game on the line, it's like that can't be a call, bro. You got to do something else. Like, give me something. Like, I don't know what else you could have done, because I think Moffitt at that point had re-injured his shoulder, and you were kind of down in regards to like the players that you had to play. But man, you got to dig deep in your bag, man. This is when like you were hired to make these kind of calls. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give me something better than a quarterback run. Clemson has been losing for the past 3 seasons off quarterback runs with different quarterbacks. K, DJ, whoever else was at quarterback. It didn't really matter because people kept trying to do this quarterback run, and it just doesn't work for us. Like, we don't have the quarterbacks for quarterback runs. Like, I think they still living off that one quarterback run that worked against Pittsburgh, and it's like, bro, this ain't Pittsburgh. Like, where it's just it should have been something different. Me personally, I wouldn't have called that particular play again.
For sure. I mean, I don't know, because like with Moffitt being out, Haynes being out, I mean, the thing is, Garrett's been this way the whole season. Like, it's either screen or quarterback run. So I wasn't mad at it, but at the end of the day, you got to know you're playing Texas. Like, these boys, they scouted everything. And I'm pretty sure they'd be running quarterback run with Arch on the second team defense in practice every day. So they know what they expect and know the looks that, know what looks is going to equate to each play. So I just don't know what else you would run with that Clemson offense, because that was before TJ Moore really popped out. So I was confused about their game plan as a whole. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, we could have used something else. I think they were trying to turn to Randall towards that point at running back, and even that as like a gadget player, right? We had other players. We had Wesco. We could have did like I would have preferred a jet sweep or something. I don't know, bro. Like, for me, putting it in Cade's hands just wasn't the right move, unless you're passing the ball. Like, Cade to me is not like a power back kind of quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a play you're running with DJ. Because DJ, 6'4", 6'5", 250. Cade ain't that kind of quarterback. You feel me? So, like, when he talks about running it with Arch is a bigger type built quarterback, so he can run those kind of run plays. That's why they use him in that scenario. But Cade don't fit that mold. So for me to run that kind of play with Cade as your lead back, not gonna work. And I think even in years past, when we've had Deshaun, we've had Trevor, we've had guys who've been built bigger than Cade to run those kind of plays. That works. You can make something like that shape, but I just don't think personally Cade's the person to run that play in that situation in that game. So yeah. Hopefully learn from it. We'll make some changes, add in some good prospects, more healthy guys at receiver and running back. We got one good guy in transfer portal at wide receiver. Hopefully make some more moves at running back coming out of high school. And we'll see, man. We'll make some adjustments and keep moving.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So like we said, because Arizona State has that bye, Texas will be playing Arizona State next week. So we're going to the next game, which is actually the biggest blowout technically in terms of margin. So you got Tennessee playing Ohio State in the nightcap. Everybody expected the game to be, closer than what it was, man. I know I picked Tennessee to win, but Tennessee walked into Ohio State and got blown out, literally. How you boys feeling about that game?
Man, it was the weekend of the home team, bro. I don't think a home team in college football or the NFL lost this week, if I'm not mistaken. At least in the big matchups. I can't speak for like the small time matchups. But I know in the bigger matchups, the home team won those games. And so, man, it was just the home teams had it this weekend. The boys had their numbers. If you bet the home team this weekend, boy, you came up. I'm telling you. And to your point, once again, man, this game, I also picked Tennessee to win just because I felt like them boys were built for the cold weather, which I thought they could match up with that. Thought they were built to match up defensively with Ohio State's offense. I was terribly wrong. I thought that their offense could hold their own against the Ohio State defense. I once again was terribly wrong. This game turned out to be the move your hand game. I thought it was gonna be one of the other games, but this was the game. I was like, ooh, they scored again and again. And over and over
again. We're not gonna like that.
I'm telling you. So it's just like, bro, some teams just shouldn't have been there. Yeah. Shouldn't have been there. And the committee's gonna have some tough, not even really tough decisions to make next year, because after this week one, it's like, ooh, we need to put in them because they might be a better matchup overall. So yeah, we're gonna have that discussion too about for next year how the layout should go.
But see, my thing is like, I feel like with SMU and maybe or definitely Indiana, that argument does suffice. But I feel like with Tennessee did deserve to get in. It was just Ohio State is just a much better team. And like you said, they're at home. So Tennessee wasn't that cold in that environment. And so that's one of the things that the committee did get right with just having these home field advantages the first round, because you can see it's a clear difference. But honestly, just my takeaway is I'm not really a big fan of Nico just yet. I think he has a lot more development to go. Because, I mean, some of the passes, it was just like, man, the dude is wide open and you're throwing him 10 yards down the field. And it's happening throughout the season. And I'm like, man, if you would just connect on half of these passes, it might be a good game. So, but I mean, I think also too, Ohio State has one of the largest NIL payroll. And you can see it. Like, there were guys, the way them boys were hitting and the talent on that field, I was like, Ohio State is built to win the national championship. So hopefully them boys can, continue to be on a roll, because that next week's game is going to be interesting. It's probably going to be the game of the year.
No, fact.
Hunter, how you feel about it?
That regular season matchup between Ohio State and Oregon was something crazy too, so I wouldn't be surprised. But going back to the Tennessee-Ohio State game, that game was over in the first quarter. It was 21-0. I looked at the score. I said, dog, I thought it was halftime. It was only the end of the first quarter. I said, oh, my gosh, they getting smacked, yo. But, yeah, I expected Ohio State to win. I chose them to win. I chose them to win. Y'all talking about the cold weather and stuff, man. Tennessee players was out there warming up without shirts, man. Them boys weren't phased by no cold weather.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's what I was saying. I said, I felt like they were accustomed to it because Tennessee is a cold state. You know what I'm saying? So I figured I didn't think that would play that much of an impact into the game, but they were just out schemed and out grown manned.
Yeah, Ohio State did a good job of generating pressure too.
Mm-hmm.
They were. You were talking about the throws that Nico was missing. Like, he was under pressure a good bit. He was running out the pocket, trying to find somebody downfield a lot of times. So,
yeah,
Ohio State just had a good game plan. They came in, they stuck to it, and got the dub.
Yeah, I was listening to one of the there's this dude named Josh Pate. He has like this college football show, and he was saying like, this shows you how important the Ohio State Michigan game is, because them boys can go and play against anybody and blow them out except Michigan. Because it's just like, I know that there were a lot of Tennessee fans there. They said there were like 30,000 Tennessee fans, and because a lot of Ohio State fans were still mad over the Michigan loss. And I'm like, man, would you be okay as an Ohio State fan to lose against Michigan and win the national championship? Like, what are their priorities? And I feel like a lot of people in Ohio State would be like, nah, I want to beat Michigan.
Yep.
That's a big rivalry, man. And we saw that this year, even with like Clemson, South Carolina. Like, South Carolina fans are so hyped to say that they run the state, and it's just like, yo, Clemson made the college football playoffs. So, like,
it don't matter.
I don't know, right? But yeah, that's rivalry games for you, man. You definitely always want to beat your rival. So, yeah, I get it.
For sure. Man, so that leads us to the game of the year. Going to be next week with Ohio State and Oregon in the Rose Bowl. So just jump to the next game. We got SMU traveling to Penn State. Don't even know why they traveled, honestly, because as soon as they got there, it was definitely a move your hand game. And I thought it was going to be the Notre Dame game, like John said, but it ended up being that Penn State SMU game. I thought that was going to be closer because they're high-powered offense, but I was completely wrong. That was the high-powered offense in the ACC. So What's y'all's thoughts, man? It was not much of a game after halftime, but any takeaways from that game?
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I didn't see the game. I was out working, but when I checked the Instagram. They said this man Kevin Jennings threw 3 picks in the first half. I was like, oh my gosh,
Bro.
I was like, dang. So I mean,
and the thing is, you knew it was over in that first position when he was covering his ears trying to hear the play. I was like, you're not built for this. It's okay. This is just a different environment.
Yeah, man. I told y'all boys before. I told y'all boys if y'all go back and put that clip in there last week. I said this ain't gonna end well for SMU. I had no faith in them boys going into Penn State. We are Penn State. Oh no. It was not gonna end well. Them boys, like they talked about in the pregame, man. Them boys used to warm weather down in Texas. Them boys went up to Pennsylvania in the cold. Yeah, nah, they froze literally. It was not good for them boys at all. I said, yeah. When Jennings started throwing them picks, and then 2 more pick sixes back to back, I said, oh yeah, it's getting bad early, and they had the crowd behind them too. I said, oh yeah, this gonna be a get my belt, pick out my good belt actually. So yeah, that didn't surprise me. That was another blowout. I was like, yeah, I was expecting this one to come through like this. So good to see Penn State didn't fold and didn't kind of give in to the playoff pressures.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I ain't gonna spend too much time on that game. So next, Penn State is gonna be going to the Fiesta Bowl to play Boise State. So jumping to the last game, that was the Friday night game. Notre Dame played Indiana, and the score was much closer than what the game actually was. Notre Dame won 27-17, but for most of the game, it was 21-3. So what's y'all boys take away on Indiana, and what's your takeaway on Notre Dame?
I called this game another move your hand game, and so much so that I fell asleep during the game because I was bored watching this beatdown. I said, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Indiana just, I don't know how did, like I said, I guess they had a good season. But when they played competition, in Ohio State, it got blown out. And I expected the same thing when they played Notre Dame, and it happened. Like, Notre Dame's just a better program than Indiana. Like, they're not a football school, in my personal opinion. And they think they showed that against a real football school in Notre Dame. So I don't think that they'll be back to the playoffs within the next decade. So, life goes on for them, and we'll see them never. So that's all I got. Sorry, Indiana fans.
The fact, man. And then the thing on top of that, man, your coach is so vocal and has nothing to back it up with. I'm just like, man, you're not even reading the room. Like, I could understand if y'all were 11-1 and beat like Oregon and Penn State, but it's like, man, y'all beat Western Kentucky and Directional State University. So it's like, calm down. There's levels to this. We talk about contending. So I don't even think next year they're going to get 8 wins next year. So just be honest. Indiana. I know what you think.
I will say I like that coach's story though. Coming from James Madison, bringing in a few players from James Madison and trying to build a program and rebuild a program. Like that's a neat little story, man. So I'm not gonna count them boys out and say they're gonna be sorry. I don't see them making the college football playoffs, of course, next year, but give them boys a chance, man. They might be able to do something, man. Don't count the boys out, man.
If I wanted a good story, I'll go to Netflix. This is
I'm about to say this thing on the pod. Hundo is a storyteller, so you gave him a good story. That he's a sucker for it. Oh man, he said, "Wow, a story." We don't care. Everybody got a story.
But nah, going back to the Notre Dame Indiana game, man. When Jeremiah Love ran that 98-yard touchdown, I said, yeah, it's over.
I'm telling you.
Over.
I'm telling you.
Them boys was at the 2-yard line. He broke that junk, went down the sideline and crib. I said, it's about to be a long game.
Yeah, I told you them boys couldn't get off the bus, man. It was not a good night for them at all.
They Indiana couldn't get going to the fourth quarter, so I mean, shoot. Maybe we could have had a more competitive game if they could have got going earlier, but I didn't see them winning that game or nothing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that was the last game. So before we dive into next week's championships, so there's the committee caught a lot of flack for the blowouts this week. What's y'all's thoughts about this first weekend as a whole? A lot of people were saying that they got the wrong teams in, that they need to do different, they need to adjust with strength of schedule more. What's y'all boys' thoughts on that?
Me personally, I think for this first year, the way that they had to lay it out, I think they kind of had to put the teams in that we're in.
Yeah.
Just so when they make decisions for next year, they're justified in those decisions. I think that, like I said, this year had to go off conference titles and records. And the teams that were in the playoffs had one or the other. The teams that missed the playoffs, as we talked about last week, they had 3 losses. I think the next team was Alabama. They had 3 losses this year. Team after that, I think, was, I don't remember. It might have been Colorado, something like that. Miami? Yeah, it was probably Miami. Miami didn't make it to the ACC championship. They lost to Syracuse. You know what I'm saying? So you can't put in a 3-loss Miami or 3-loss Alabama team in for this first year over a Indiana, over a Tennessee, over a Clemson, over a SMU, but all of them had 1 to 2 losses and made their championships for their respective conferences or were fairly high ranked throughout the season. So, like I said, for next year, I think they'll have more ammo. They'll be able to kind of break down more when it comes to strength of schedule. They'll be able to break down more when it comes to conference play. So I think that those things will play a big factor into next year's decisions when it comes to the playoffs. And hopefully this allows the schedule makers to say, all right, man, we got to see and put battle-tested teams throughout the season because that will also give you more realistic record-wise for the teams before playoffs even starts. I think the issue is a lot of these teams don't really come into the playoffs or into even in seasons battle tested. And so I think that plays a big determining factor. You can get 12 wins against, I'm not going to name these schools. We might have some good viewers from these schools. So I'm going to just name just a random school. You can't play no-name schools and expect, to make the college football playoffs. And for next year, this is for next year. Like I said, this year it might work for you. But next year, I don't think that it will. So that's what I got. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
I don't know because, like, on one hand, you take an Indiana, for example, like we talked about, nobody expected them to be that good. Mm-hmm. But in the same breath, it's like they're in the Big Ten. Do you schedule them against Penn State, against Oregon in the regular season? But like I said, nobody expected them to be there anyways. So I mean, nobody was complaining about their schedule before the season, and now they make it. Now everybody wants to complain about their schedule. So it's just like I don't think that they're gonna have a solution come next year. Like I think that's just gonna be tough to do.
Yeah.
Looking at schedules, looking at strength of record, all of that stuff, it's just gonna be tough. People are never gonna be satisfied. They're gonna complain about something. They're gonna find something new to complain about. So
yeah, I agree.
What's happening?
I think what people don't even understand is like even when we had the 14 playoff, there were still blowouts in the first round. Like that year, Alabama played Cincinnati, Alabama played Michigan State. There were some years that Clemson even got blown out. It's like, these blowouts are bound to happen in the first round. I think the only solution I can think about, and it's hard because a lot of these ADs make the schedules like 4 or 5 years out. But if you could do like the NFL, and if you make the playoffs, you have a first place schedule now, where it's like you get to see next year the teams on the lower end get more favorable schedules. But if you're in Indiana, now you have to go into Oregon, you have to go into Ohio State. And I think they are this year, but I kind of want to see like an SMU have to play another conference like the SEC. Like, what do y'all look like against these conferences so we can really evaluate the best conference? So kind of like college basketball does with SEC Big Ten Challenge and even like the ACC, I think Big 12, I think they do something like that.
I think the only problem with that would be just like with the transfer portal, with the NIL, it's just like the consistency of rosters. Like the roster is constantly changing. Like you got people not playing in bowl games right now because of transfer portal. So it's like even if you do something like that, like they could lose 20 players to the portal or to graduation or whatever it might be, and that team look totally different next year.
That's
so
true.
I feel like that's the only problem with, I guess, the suggestion that you said. But I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so let's look forward to next week. So starting with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, we got Texas is a minus 14 point favorite against Arizona State. Arizona State got to bye because they were, I think, the highest conference champion outside of like the Big Ten and the SEC. So definitely it's going to be a big matchup. Who y'all boys got in that game?
Texas. I'm on my hundo tip. let's wrap this up early. Texas gonna get that belt and they're gonna pull it out and they're gonna say, I mean, your little break don't mean nothing to us. Like, you just delayed your beating. Like, you thought I forgot? You know, none of the beatings you thought you got away, you thought you went to sleep. And then when it comes back, yeah, it ain't over yet. Come here. This will get real bad for Arizona State. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know they're a Big 12. I think they won a Big 12 championship, but I'm gonna keep it. I don't know nothing about Arizona State that's gonna turn my head and say, yeah, they can do something against Texas. Me personally, I don't know no playmakers that they got out there that's gonna be ready to stop Texas's dogs.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Yeah, I mean, you can educate me, but from what I saw what they did to Clemson last week, I just don't foresee Arizona State having enough to beat them.
Hey, Clemson ain't had no running back, but Arizona State got them one. That boy Cam Scatterbo. That boy's a problem.
Listen, if you're a white running back and your last name's not McCaffrey, I've already got questions. So I'm sorry.
Hey, that boy's a dog. I don't know what he gonna do versus Texas.
Everybody
been balling this year.
Everybody a dog to the real dog show.
Hey, I also like Texas in this game though. I like Texas, but watch out for Cam Scatterbo. That's all I'm gonna say.
Is he getting over 100 yards this game? Hundo?
We talking about rushing and receiving combined?
No. No all purpose.
Hey, bro, he do a little bit of everything.
You know
that field.
Bro, he's second on the team in receiving yards.
And that's the problem. That's the problem right there.
Hey, he the offense. He is McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Arizona State.
Yeah. We gonna see about that.
Now go ahead and put your money on it. Over 100 yards or under?
Oh no, my money's on Texas, brother. That's the only thing my money's on. Texas. Texas to win.
Yeah. I've got Texas to cover easily, actually. I think Archman is gonna be playing in the third quarter. So I don't think this is gonna be close at all. Sorry, Arizona State. All right, so let's move on to the Rose Bowl. Man, everybody's saying this is gonna be the game of the year. Ohio State is actually favored -2, which is crazy because Oregon is the #1 seed in the whole playoff, had the best regular season, and now they're the underdogs. How your boys feel about this game? Who you got and why?
Let me get. Let me take. I don't know, man. They played regular season, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they didn't say
it was 32-31 Oregon.
Oregon. Let me get Ohio State for that get back. Jeremiah Smith, man. I told you about him last week. If you watched the podcast, once again, if you didn't, please go watch the recap. Jeremiah Smith, #4, freshman. He's a grown man at 18 years old.
Yes,
he's a grown man. And I think that young man has another big day. Calling it right now against this Oregon secondary. When you're a grown man, you do grown man things, man. That's all I got to say. And Ohio State still got Judkins. They still got that tight end. They still got Emeka.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that scares me is that quarterback. I don't have a lot of faith in that young man right there. However, he got a plethora of weapons. So, young man, throw that ball up, and a grown man go catch it. That's all I got to say. So, handle your business, Ohio State. Handle your business. That's going to be a close one. It's gonna be a very close one because Oregon definitely has a powerhouse defense. Their defense is very good. Offensively, they got some weapons out there as well. Got some speed out there. Me personally, not a big fan of Dylan Gabriel, but that's just me. So that's why I think the quarterback matchup's gonna be closer to me, which makes the game closer in overall standing. But give me Ohio State.
Ohio State, Hundo, who you got?
I think I'm gonna stay on the Ohio State train. Will Howard, John mentioned everybody else's name, but I'm actually a fan of Will Howard. I don't think he that bad. So we'll see. Kansas State transfer. So we'll see how he do. He played good the first time versus Oregon. Like I said, clock management at the end of that game was what lost that game. So I think he'll be playing with a chip on his shoulder a little bit. And I think Oregon gets it done. I think it'll be another close game. Ohio State. My bad, not Oregon. Ohio State. I think Ohio State gets it done, and they'll advance to the semifinals.
Yeah, so I was gonna be on the Ohio State train, but I'm gonna actually go Oregon, and this is why.
Hey, John, this man always trying to be different.
I'm telling you,
he always trying to be different. There you
go. This is why, because now that I see the line and I see Ohio State as favored -2, I just know Dan Landon's going to use that as ammo, man. And I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it's going to be close, just like it was the last time. I figure that Oregon's going to find a way to win it. And them boys, like, for their schedule, having to play, I think, 8 conference games back-to-back, that break was necessary. And I think them boys come out hot. And I think, Ohio State is going to fold at the end. So, and I think it's going to be a Will Howard fold. I don't think it's going to be a Ohio State team. I just think the quarterback is just going to make a mistake, and then Oregon's going to find a way to pull it out. All right, so we got the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. Penn State is playing Ashton Genty in Boise State. I want to clarify that. Game starts at 7:30 New Year's Eve, and Penn State is an early 10.5-point favorite. Who y'all boys got?
Man, let me tell you something about this young man, Ashton Genty. We talked about grown men earlier in the Ohio State-Oregon game. This is a grown man, and it don't matter who he playing against. He toting that peel. He don't care if you Oregon. He don't care if you Ohio State. He don't care if you Texas. That young man said, hand me the rock. I don't even need too much blocking. Just let me get the ball. I'll make something shake. I love that young man's game. I think he's gonna have another big game. I really do. I think he's still upset about not winning the Heisman. I think he has a little chip on his shoulder about that. He's a little pissed off. I think he's gonna have to show the world. He's gonna feel like he has to show the world something in this game here against his Penn State defense. Penn State is coming to this game big head, I think, because of the blowout they just got at home against SMU. I don't think they're coming to taking it lightly, but I think that Genty gonna have to show them boys a couple things here and there. And so with that being said, man, I'm going Penn State with the win. Because
boy said a whole lot of nothing. He said a whole lot of nothing. I was waiting for him to say Penn State. Boy said a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be enough, Genty. I'm sorry, bud. Get ready for the NFL. Get ready for the NFL, bud. You're gonna play your heart out, and it's just just say thank you to the crowd on your way out the door. That's all. Penn State wins a big one in the playoffs. It moves to next round.
Hey, what's the score, John? What's the score prediction?
Score prediction for this game. It's gonna be a little bit closer than people think it is, just because of Genty. But I still got them boys winning give me 42-28. Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. This is probably going to be the easiest game for a defensive coordinator. I'm loading the box every time. I'm making you pass on me. And this man, Genty, he's still going to eat. I feel like he's going to break away some good runs. But I feel like for the most part, I've never seen a clip from Boise State this season of them passing for a touchdown. So it's going to be real ugly, and it's going to be real ugly quick. So I got Penn State winning big, actually. I think it's going to be more than 2 touchdowns. I do.
Hey, I was talking to my brother about Boise State the other day. They quarterback not terrible. He got 22 touchdowns.
Malachi Nelson, right?
Huh?
Malachi Nelson.
No.
No, that brother is transferring again, ain't it?
Oh, that is right. Dang. I'm thinking NCAA. He started NCAA.
Maddox Madsen is his name. 2,714 yards, 22 touchdowns, 3 picks. I'm just saying. The man not terrible.
What's his name?
Maddox Madsen. Sound like a baseball player.
Go ahead and drop his LinkedIn profile in here for anybody who's looking to hire, because it's going to be over quickly. He's going to need a job soon.
Okay.
Sure.
He's only a sophomore, bro. He got a few more years.
Bro, trying to get us canceled already. Oh, my gosh.
I've never heard that name ever. It's clear. No. I'm telling you, Penn State's going to have their way. It's going to be so ugly. Nope. I'm telling you, James Franklin's not worried about Maddie Maxson. I'm sorry. So go ahead and pick who you got.
I'm taking Penn State. I'm with y'all. I'm taking Penn State. I think they're gonna do a good job of stopping the run. This Madsen dude gonna have to throw the ball. So we gonna see if he live up to this 22 touchdowns and 3 picks. Because it might get scary out there. So give me Penn State though. I like Penn State in this game.
What's the score?
I'm gonna say 35-17.
All right, man. So that leads us to the last game. It's the All-State Sugar Bowl. Notre Dame is going down to New Orleans to play Georgia. Georgia just announced that Carson Beck won't be playing this game, so they're going to be running with Gunnar Stockton. UGA is still early -2-point favorite in this game. Notre Dame just beat Indiana, man. But do they carry the momentum? Who y'all got?
I think Carson Beck going down hurts Georgia a lot. Me personally. Now, I also don't think Carson Beck's good, but that's another story for another day. But I still think that it hurts the team morale-wise because Carson's been starting off season for them boys. And so to have to now play with a different quarterback, different cadence, the wide receivers have to learn different stuff. Now, they may have been practicing with this young man this season, but playing with him is a whole different story when it comes to a big game like this. And so I don't know much about this young man at all. So Hundo may have to give me some backstory as a UGA fan about this young man's upcoming upbringing at UGA and how long he's been there, all those good things. But I want to take UGA just because at the end of the day, they had Stinson been in that quarterback and he sucked. So I think they can still win. So because of that, I'm gonna still take UGA just because I think they got a lot of system quarterbacks, and so they can really make it work with anybody. So give me UGA in a kind of close. It's probably gonna be like a 10-point game at the end of it. They want to beat Notre Dame and finish off their season.
So for me, man, I actually got Georgia in this game. I just feel like culture matters, and Kirby, he's just gonna find a way. And I'm gonna go and look in the camera. Number 11. What's his name, Hundo? The jump man.
No, you talking about Harris?
No, I'm talking about the one that keep jumping every time he get the pass throw and drop all them goals.
Smith.
Yeah, Smith.
Yeah,
ball. Because boy,
area.
That boy, it's like he got butter on his fingers. It's like, man, you are the number one option, and he jumping at every pass. If he could just catch the ball, Georgia wins. That's it. And I'm gonna let you talk about Harris, Hundo. But yeah, I got Georgia close. I say it's gonna be 22-21. I think there's gonna be a late second field goal. They find a way to duke it up.
You talked about culture. I'm going with Georgia. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I'm going with Georgia. I know John had mentioned Carson being out, but he wasn't playing that good this year. Let's be honest. He wasn't playing the best. So I think with Gunnar Stockton coming in, I think he can come in, shake some things up. We saw what he was able to do versus Texas. I think with 3 weeks of practice, I think they'll be fine. Offensively, like you said, Collin, Arian Smith got to catch the ball, man. He the best playmaker out there outside of ETN in the backfield. Yeah, he got to catch the ball, yo. Too many times against Texas, this man was wide open and dropped the ball, jumping for no reason, like he's scared he about to get hit, dropping the ball. Catch the ball, yo, please. Harris at cornerback, get him off the field. I don't even know who Notre Dame receivers are, but get Harris off the field.
Yeah.
One of them boys about to get drafted in the first round because of Harris. Get him off the field now. He don't need to be out there. But I got Georgia. And ETN, get him the ball. Try to find a way to run the ball. I think they'll be fine.
What's the score prediction?
I don't know, man. I think it's a one score game, man. I think it's a one score game. Seven or less points.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think they're just going to feed ETN the whole game, honestly, because I don't think they trust 11, but I also don't think they trust the backup quarterback for it to be a shootout. So Kirby's going to try to make it low scoring, a dog fight, and I don't think Notre Dame's going to be ready for that. All right, man. So like we did last week, what game are y'all looking forward to the most? I'm pretty sure I can predict which one y'all thinking, and who's going to be out of the entire weekend. Who do y'all have as the MVP? Who has to stand up this season or this round?
Yeah, for me, it's easy. Ohio State, Oregon. MVP, Jeremiah Smith. Go be a grown man, bro. I mean, the NFL is calling you right now, and this is your time to answer, young man. The lights are on. The lights are on. Are they gonna be too bright for you? I hope not. I hope you take this time. You've been a grown man all season. If nobody told you you're a grown man, look me in my eyes, Jeremiah Smith. You're a grown man. Act like a grown man. Act like a grown man when you play this Oregon team. Show them boys. Listen, it's just nobody's like me in the country. Ryan Williams, the other freshman, he's not a dog like me. I'm just the dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm the best.
Top dog.
Top dog. You gotta show it this weekend, man, or when they play next weekend. So that's the game. That's the MVP. That's who got to get it done, bro.
Cool. Hendo.
Definitely Ohio State, Oregon, but I'm also adding Notre Dame and Georgia. I got to see how Georgia look, man. Got to see how Gunnar Stockton out there looking, man. I think MVP. I'm gonna say Gunnar Stockton, man. He gotta show me something, man. I gotta see something. So I think he has to have a good game for Georgia to win. Can't turn the ball over. So I'm gonna go Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Ohio State, Oregon. Like I said, I think it's gonna be close, and I think it's gonna be definitely a 5 p.m. game, but it's probably gonna be the game of the year. But for the MVP, I'm gonna actually go with that dude Blue from Texas, man. I think they're gonna run it down Arizona's throat, and I think he has the potential to get over 200 yards because they said Wisner is questionable. So I think they're just gonna feed Blue, and he's gonna have a game of his life. So yeah. So we're introducing a new segment called the Move Your Hand Game. John, I'm gonna let you take it over. Give us your Move Your Hand Game and tell her how it's gonna be.
Man, oh man. Thank y'all for giving me this segment. Because listen, every now and then, it's got to take off that belt, man, and let people know we not to be messed with. So this week's Move Your Hand Game brought to you by John Carmichael. I got Texas over Arizona State. I just don't have a good feeling about this Arizona State team. Big 12 versus SEC. Now, granted, Texas just got to SEC. However, since they got there, they've been fighting with the big dogs. I think that they're one of the few teams that's moved to the SEC that's proved that they should be there, me personally. And so I think that trend continues against Arizona State. I think that the belt comes off early and is used often. I think it's going to be one of them ones like, didn't I tell you not to go ahead and touch nothing? Like, I don't know who you think you are, but it's not going to be good for them boys. I think I really think that, man, it's going to be like, almost like they hit him up. They beat him again. They scored again. Like
throw in the towel.
Right. Please,
I'ma stop, Mr. President.
Somebody help! Call the National Guard, Salvation Army,
Police,
somebody
help!
Anybody help! Yeah, bro. I don't think it's gonna be a close game. I really don't. I really don't think it's gonna be a close game at all. If I had to give a second place vote to that, it's probably gonna be. It's probably that Boise State game. In all honesty, I feel bad for Genty. Once again, I feel bad for you, Genty. But this is the end, bud. Like I said, you going to the NFL. You do what you had to do this year. Heisman favorite, Heisman hopeful. But get ready for that NFL call, man. Hopefully this weekend really needs to be about you picking out your NFL draft suit. That's what it really needs to be about. I honestly wouldn't focus too much on the game planning for this week. It's not going to be too helpful for you. It's not going to make too much of a difference, in all honesty with you. If I'm Penn State's defensive coordinator, I'm sleeping like a baby every night because my game plan is simple. It's simple. We're gonna line five up on this D line. Let me get 2 dogs at linebacker and give me 2 average corners because I'm not worried about them passing the ball. And we go blitz.
Engage 8.
Engage 11.
I'm bringing both safeties up.
I'm telling you, everybody
block.
in the box. Walk them all down. They're like, we ain't seen this formation before. This is new. A new wrinkle in the college football playoff.
Goal line normal.
Got the boys running 60 flat. Yeah, I need it. So yeah, bro. I think once again, Genty, I don't know how he's gonna do it. He's gonna get him a touchdown or 2 for sure. But it's just once again, it's not gonna matter. So yeah, I think that game could be a potential second belt, but the first one's definitely the Texas game.
So you got Texas covering -14 easily?
They really should get -21, no, honestly. But they really be nice. After what I saw last week, man, with these teams getting blown out, and then I saw the next round, I said, oh, some of these games just not gonna be good again. And those 2 I just mentioned, those gonna be the ones. So if I'm a betting man, which I might not bet. I don't think I'm gonna bet this weekend either. But if you do bet, take that spread right there. 14, easy bread. Come up. Nice little re-up from that Christmas y'all about to spend y'all spent your money on. So y'all get y'all some of that money back right there. Recoup some of that bread right there.
Yeah. Remember to bet responsibly, but we haven't let you down yet. So
and we put 1-800-GAMBLE in the chat box.
All right, man. So that concludes our week 2 in this college football analysis. Y'all boys got anything else before we stop?
Nah, man. I'm excited once again for this Oregon and Ohio State game. The rest of these games, I'm gonna watch them just for the love of the game. But like I said, the belt coming out in a couple of them. So I'm gonna watch also that Georgia and Notre Dame game just to see, like, once again what this other young man does, Gunner, at quarterback. Like I said, system guys. So Georgia, that's how they kind of roll with system quarterback. So they can kind of make anything work with that. So I think that's what gives them the win again this week. But I'm also intrigued to see what that offense, that Notre Dame offense does with Leonard and I forgot the running back name already. But their running back is good. Yeah, Love. Love is good back. I like his game. a lot. So I'm intrigued to see how that looks against that Georgia defense. That Georgia defense is full of dogs. They're called dogs for a reason. So it's been very interesting for me to see that. But I'm done.
I know you got anything else?
Oh no, I'm good. Looking forward to the games. We're gonna see what happens. Like I said, I'm looking forward to see how Georgia looks versus Notre Dame. We're gonna see, man. Should be an exciting weekend when they play. Or weekdays. I think they play Tuesday and Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah, they play something weird.
Man, I guess like the biggest thing is Boise State, man. Boise State, y'all carrying the weight of the group of 5 on your shoulders. Like, if y'all go in there and get blown out, y'all will never see the playoff again. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, and indeed.
SEC and Big Ten commissioners are going to be watching this game to see, because you already got blowouts for Indiana, SMU, and if y'all get and y'all had an automatic bid, oh, it's scary hours.
Hey, one thing, since we on that, can we talk about Lane Kiffin?
Oh,
but he was out here emptying the clip on everybody, yo. This man said, "Oh, committee, great job picking these teams."
he coaching at Ole Miss, right?
Yeah.
I think that says enough in itself. Because is the quarterback Jackson Dart?
Yeah.
That brother right there. So yeah. Cut it off before I get in it right now. Cut.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week, man. Tune into the games. We'll be on Instagram, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube, any social media. We're on there, man.